Hi, my name's Oliver. This is the first of a couple of videos we're doing all about luggage rules. This first one is about flying and the second one's going to be about cruises. As a small family, we've got used to being caught out when flying with the luggage rules, and I just wanted to make a helpful video just looking at a few common airports to go to and the fact that there are slightly differing rules and slightly differing restrictions as you travel through different countries on what you can and cannot take. So without further ado, let's look at the video. So hopefully now you're seeing Gatwick Airport's lovely website. Kudos to Gatwick Airport. When I was researching this article, they really do make it quite clear what is and isn't available for families. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at the screen as I record the screen and do this. So nice, clear information. They've got a special route for anyone with disabilities and families. In South Terminal, it's sort of far to the right. We've used it a couple of times now. The staff there are brilliant. They work to try and help you through. There's a range of parking options. I talked about mid-stay in the Rome video. Right, the important thing to think about, you've got to take food for your child. All the cafes, all the restaurants, if you go in there and say, I need hot water to make up this formula, they will happily give you formula. On the security information, it does say about not taking insulated bottles. We've gone through with a metal bottle with hot water in it twice, so I think that they just seem to treat you differently on the family lines. Whether we broke the rules or not, it was unwitting, because I looked at the family rules that said we could take food. You are allowed to carry enough food for the journey. I would say take a touch more just in case of delays, simply because we've seen people caught out when there's been a long delay on a return flight. I did not know until I was researching this video about the Boots website being able to order food. I wish I'd known, anyone who's watching, but this is why, if you're flying through any particular airport, you should look at what's on offer. You should look and Google it. Search on YouTube. Hopefully someone's done a video like this for a specific airport. We will be doing a follow-up video for long-haul flights, and we're going out of Heathrow for that one. So I will give you my view of Heathrow going long-haul for travelling with a baby as well, toddler now. The changing rooms were fine. They're easy to locate. I can say this from Gatwick. It's nice that they're actually making it all very clear on their website. And this as a website, how did I find it? I literally went Google Gatwick Airport kids. Up it came. They're nice and clear on here. The important thing to always be aware of is what you can take on food and milk. We have got used to the idea, there's a brand over here where you can take their sachets of food, put it in hot water and it's ready to eat. There's also other brands where you've got the powder of food. So if you're used to taking powdered formula, those powdered foods as well, you can get a little container, just 4 sections or 3 sections, and that should do you for a flight as food. And if your child is eating, not all children are eating, some of them are still on milk or formula. It's also worth remembering that some of the restaurants in there will do food. If it's breakfast, you can give them a croissant, you can give them various things. You know what your child will eat. So also worth thinking about that. We found no problems in Gatwick with breastfeeding. If you've got a little shawl to put around you, you're going to be fine. So where it's talking about taking enough food and milk, and you can take baby wipes, nappies, essentials, with the change in the tools they're using, you are no longer limited to those tiny weeny little bottles for going through security. The first time we flew out of Gatwick, when we were taking hot water for food, we went to security and said, do we need to empty this before we went through security, and they just shrugged and said go through. So we didn't think about it after that. But the rules in Gatwick have changed, and a lot of more technologically advanced airports are changing their rules. So you are allowed to take up to 2 litres of liquid through security because they've got the scanners that will tell if it's dangerous or not. Now, that we have fallen foul of that, and I suspect we've been allowed through because we're going through the baby route. They just allowed us through, and it was a metal insulated thing. It's the one we use when we're going out, because if we boil the kettle first thing in the morning, fill it at 8 a.m. and it's still stupidly hot at 8 p.m. for making food. And for one, I got free from a trade show. Never be snobbish about, if you work in an industry where you can go to trade shows and get free insulated bottles from stands. I've got several, and there's one that's just more, it's better than some of the ones we paid for, to be honest. But just be aware, technically, although I checked and was just waved through, I shouldn't have taken that metal wall container full of hot water. So when you're going through the family route, and this is, I'm using Gatwick as the example, they will want to take everything out your pushchair and send your pushchair through to be examined, just to make sure you're not trying to use your little baby as a mule. Evil people who do that. As I was looking at this, it is worth being sure that whoever is going to be pushing the baby through has the boarding pass, either on their phone or physically. To be honest, this is why we print them out, because then it's tucked in little one's jacket. We don't have to think. Whoever's got the baby has the boarding pass. Gatwick has the upgraded security. I know someone who works there. Apparently the staff route has not got the upgraded security, so they still can't take liquids. Ridiculous. Anyway. But for us as family, we just need to be aware the little one will need to come out the pushchair, through, and this seems to be the same in all the airports. Just, if you're going through the family route, then they're more flexible. They help you a lot more. And there's more staff that are there just purely to help you. What I found when I was researching this, Gatwick has a lovely, clear website that details what you are and are not allowed to take, based upon the rules that apply to them. It is also worth checking out the UK Gov. If you're flying out of UK airports, these are the rules which apply to you. So, they allow a lot more lenience when it's little ones, and in all cases the baby must be present. So dads, you might think you're clever to run to security and get through while mum is changing the little one elsewhere, but if you've got the formula in your bag, you're going to get problems at security. So stay together as a family. It's very sensible. These things, if you are not travelling with your little one, you might get problems with. Be aware, airport staff may check what's in there. I have had them swab all sorts of things over the years. Some where it was obvious what it was and why they were swapping it, I don't know. Others where it's known that people will use that kind of thing to transport, and as much as it may be upsetting or frustrating to you, or you may be just like, I don't want anyone to open my baby's milk. I don't want you. Why do you want to sniff my booby milk? They have a job to do. Their job is to make sure everyone getting on that plane is safe to get on that plane, that they are not taking anything illegal with them, and they're not taking anything dangerous with them. If any of those tick boxes are ticked, it's a problem. Now, I'm going to carry on going through airports. Here's where we start to hit really crap websites. When you go to, so we're looking at a New York trip, so hence why I went for JFK as another example. We don't live in New York, we'll just be visitors, you can tell from my accent. I very nearly use Vancouver. JFK, if this is actually your website and it says it's Port Authority of New York, it's crap. Look at Gatwick's website and take note. Yes, you have information for all these wonderful things talking about disability, hidden disabilities lanyards. If you have hidden disabilities, those sunflower lanyards, the more I've researched this, the more I see these are accepted. Dubai, Doha, America, all over, the whole of the UK seems to accept them. If they see these hidden disability lanyards, particularly if you've got a little with autism or something like that, these lanyards are really, really useful because they have recognised the world over. But there's nothing. I couldn't find anything really about going through with kids. In fact, the only real links I found were stuff to go off and to the TSA. And so you're just having to rely on the government website for what's involved, what's required, what's allowed in your carry-on bags. So again, they're very clear about what they're checking for and what fluids they're allowed to look for and so on. But they don't talk really about too much about it. Now, they also, though, have this lovely page. UK government, this is where you need to take note. This page is nice, clear, tells you which airports have a dedicated lane for families. And Tampa, Florida, Jacksonville, Orlando, all these airports are set up for families. Beautiful. It talks about things which are allowed through the checkpoint. Now, pretty much every airport, when I've been researching this, has said, yes, you can take your stroller through, but when you're getting on the plane, that unless you've got agreement with the airline to take it onto the plane, you will have it removed. It's annoying, but it's true, and won't be waiting there for you necessarily at the other end. So, the TSA say they won't separate you from your kids. It's good, they're setting that on their website. Other American government agencies learn. I'm not saying about what politics is going on at the moment. I'm staying out of it. I would like to be able to enjoy a trip to New York. It is a consideration, whether we bother or whether we don't. Strollers, baby carriers, etc., as I just said. You're going through the family-friendly lane, they will do things slightly differently. Again, though, I'm not really finding information for them on liquids and what we're allowed to take through. it has been slightly annoying, but whenever you're traveling to a foreign country, to you, always double check what you are and aren't allowed to take onto a flight. And as we scroll down, there are obvious things you can't take. So here it does say baby food is allowed in reasonable quantities, baby formulas allowed with special instructions. Bottled water, America is still saying less than 100 millilitres. So you fly out of Gatwick, going to New York or wherever, wonders, miracle of miracles, I can take the hot water I need to make my food. On the way back, you can't take the hot water, you know. So just be aware, differing rules on what you're allowed to take. Google it, always Google it. Now, what's nice is other international airports. I'm using Rome here, European destination. Again, the information they've got on their website really does help fill you in on what you can do when you're flying. I'm definitely not answering it for you. I'm going to do a quick little summary at the end of what you need to be aware of when you go through security. We didn't do that. We went through the family lane and just went, they're there. And they looked and went, you're good. Boom, zip, off you go. As long as they can check it and they're comfortable and they're happy, and if you're going through family lane, you'll probably find it a lot easier than the others. That is my actual experience of Rome Airport. Again, we went through with a flask of hot water. It's nice that it talks about the stroller. Yes, we had to do that. We took everything out the stroller, popped it into the basket, including the stuff in the bag, went through the x-ray, they were fine. Didn't see the play areas. Again, on me, I should have probably researched better. Again, lovely, they're giving you little advice to make your journey easier. My advice, if you can, allow time to feed, allow time for all these things. But it's not just the airport's rules which will affect you. You also need to be aware of the last tab and the last section of this video before I sum up. The airlines rules. I got caught out because we booked a package that included a speedy boarding flight, and then we bought a package without and didn't realise that we couldn't take the stroller on. Pain in the arse. That pushchair is essential for us because little one's getting bigger and bigger. Under 14 days, baby cannot travel with EasyJet. When we get to my other video talking about the restrictions on cruises with luggage and kids and baggage for cruises, when you book your flight, they will ask you for the dates of birth for everyone. They'll tell you to go away if your child's under 14 days old. I know it may be distressing. There are reasons why someone might choose to fly with a baby that young. You just have to be a bit aware. Okay. Under 5s, EasyJet let you get on as part of the speedy boarding group. They bundle you in with them. They let you have extra stuff for your child to go in the hold because they assume you're going to take a travel cot. And your pushchair will go in there, theoretically. These things. And they spell it out for you. Just be aware with different airlines there's different rules on seats. Some, you get your seats in the more premium airlines, you get your seats included to pick your seats, and others you have to pay if you want to pick in advance. That was part of the reason I upgraded to speedy boarding on that initial flight. yeah, you do. You want to sit with your child. What was nice, the way we were seated on the first flight, we were on a 3, little one was going to be on our lap, and they asked the person who was at the end of the row, oh, do you want to sit elsewhere? And we had a whole row to ourselves, and that happened a couple of times. EasyJet's staff, brilliant. They really do want to look after the people with the infants. And other airlines I've seen do similar when I've been doing other flights with families on. Couple of months' time, there will be a video talking about experiences with another airline. But again, with that airline, I've gone to their website. I've checked what's included with our flight, what we're allowed to take on board, what we get as checked hold just with that ticket that we bought. Then with other flights and other trips we've got coming up, again, we've looked at what's included, we've looked at what we can get in the way of. So EasyJet, by default, you're allowed a bag that fits under the seat in front of you. That's it. If you're going on as part of a family, that gets upgraded automatically to include a couple of check things, the pushchair, and a bag for food and nappies and things. I like the fact that they do specifically say on their website breastfeeding is allowed. It's very helpful. The longer your flight, the more you may want to consider booking an extra seat for your little. I recommend making sure that you've got assigned seating. Budgets may not allow that. Just try to be nearby. But you may find that the staff will try to help you swap around. But don't be entitled. Someone might have a good reason for sitting in a particular chair. I've known couples who will sit either side of an aisle because one has long legs and the other one needs the toilet a lot. They might have picked those specific seats for a specific reason. They may have paid to sit there. So you pay your money, you take your chance. And different airlines have different rules as well. So the things to be aware of. Different airports have different rules. Just because you're flying back and forth between 2 airports in Europe or 2 airports in developed countries like US and UK, US and other places in Europe, doesn't mean that you'll be able to get away with the same liquids on the way out as you can on the way back for security. You will find when you're going through the family lane, they are used to families. They will give you flexibility and they will treat you differently depending on the needs of you as a family. That sunflower lanyard that you see around, that is internationally recognised now. If your child has additional needs, have one. If you've got additional needs, have one. That would be my advice. Also, let your airline know in advance if there's additional needs, if they're going to need to do additional support. Also, be aware what is included and what isn't with your ticket. Some airlines, when I've been researching this, didn't say anything about things like travel cots or car seats being checked for free. Some airlines said that your cot will be taken. Some airlines said pushchair, if it can be cabin friendly, maybe we'll let you, it'll be at the discretion of staff. Some airlines said categorically not, it'll, like EasyJet, it'll get taken off and put in your hold unless you've paid for the upgrade to be able to take it with you. Be aware, double check. Don't do what I did on our second EasyJet flight in the last 12 months and fluff it because you didn't check. It would have been nice to have our pushchair with us on that Rome trip. The Mediterranean trip is coming up as a video, but there's a lot of editing to do on that one. Google is not always your friend. I googled Rome Airport. It took me to a private website that someone else had put up. And in very tiny text at the bottom of the page, it said, not the official website. The information on that site was out of date. did not fully reflect the rules that I had been forced to comply with when I was getting on the plane, and clearly was written by someone who just wanted to get ad revenue because people were clicking it, and they had gamed Google to get themselves above the official website. And just because you've got a kid, just because you've got a baby with you, does not mean that you are any more entitled to anything than anyone else who's getting on that plane. They paid their money too. If they've paid for a specific seat and you're asking if they can swap with your partner or whoever, and they say no, I'm sorry. Just be nice about it. Thank them for, okay, thank you for, but, and be nice to them about it, because they may have a hidden disability. They may have some reason why they have to be in that specific seat. I am fully aware that not everyone has obvious reasons why they pick a seat, and they may just be being horrible for no good reason. They may just be having a bad day and decided to make your day bad. Shake it off and just get on with your day. Hopefully the flight isn't too long. So, thank you for watching this video about airport baggage rules. Don't take sharps. They're on the restricted items. Double check your liquid rules. Double check what the airline lets you take on board. That's your key things. Hopefully this has been useful. If it has, like, subscribe, etc. If it hasn't, please unsubscribe to every other website, every other YouTube channel you're following, and just follow this one instead, because it'll encourage me and I might get better. Please put comments down below on anything you think we should be covering, anything you want me to research. If you want me to look at a specific airport, I'm more than happy to do a short video on, hey, look, I've researched this airport. This is how I've gone about researching it. Okay? Now, hopefully, the next video, which will be the cruise luggage, will have been edited, scheduled, and all be good. And we'll follow on from this one in a couple of weeks. But till then, thank you, and don't stop travelling.